hell's that? What do you know? I need to turn the mic on. Thank you. I need to shift this over today. Yeah. There you go. Good. Hey, thank you. How are you doing, Laura-san? Shifting this over. Look at that. I see things like today that I didn't see yesterday. Let me make sure this camera's like right up in my face, and I'm like, you know what I think? There you go. I think we're good. That's it. You're finally working on a video? Good. So what's going to be on, Laura? And I'm going to try to do a video that's going to be like quicker. That's my goal. Do a quicker video. Quick. I'm going to try to get back to a little bit more simple. See what that does just for a little bit. We'll see. See how it goes. Redraw. Always redrawing. Redraw when we need to, right? Resin objects and orgone pyramids, or is it orgone? I don't know what those are. How do you come up with this stuff? This is how we shift to drawing, honestly. Can't remember what can you do. Resin objects, orgone pyramids. No, I mean, that's not my area of expertise. I guess that's a good thing, right? Shift the drawing, always shift. It's okay. This is actually supposed to be educational, and to be honest with you, this is the what not to do drawing. And so it's okay if it's like a little bit scarred, but this is how you shift. So we've done this before. Because I'm attracted to silly new age energy stuff. You are very new agey. Oh, did I switch the stream? No, it's still saying classical houses. Let's go to figure painting, figure drawing, classical figure drawing of a woman in pencil. Updated. So I'm kind of being more straightforward with the titles for probably obvious reasons, so that it's like, hey, this is what I'm doing. To Twitch. Don't hurt me. Go easy on me. Ah, Taggin. What's up, man? What are you up to? What you doing? Tyler says you are painting a house. Is that intentional? It should have just changed. Didn't it just change? Yeah, it's changed. Or updated. Good. Glad it's updated. Yeah, I kind of remembered around the same time you did. Tagging, I just shifted this part over that way, so needed to. I come in here and I'm like, oh, geez, I see what I did. It's a fresh eye, right? I always push it without the fresh eye. So try to make this whole thing at once too. I tell you, honestly, I hate drawing like this way. Notice how this is the old elbow, but you see how I rounded it? Because that's like generalizing. This is a great example of generalization. So, I hate it. I really do hate it. And then this part shifts over. So if you want to go right here, that's where that is. 1, 2, 3. That, and then this part. This is where that is. This comes up here. Like that. And then it kind of does one of these things. This here. Why do you hate it? This is for a video, Clara, that I'm going to be doing. And this is how not to draw. Because you can't tell yet, probably, but like here, for example, this is very smoothed and curved and rounded, and it's not denoting the proper form. It doesn't have solidity to it. And it's going to be like even more smoothed out, probably. I might even just finish it with like it being like totally smooth, like where you can't even see any marks on it. I might do that. We'll see. Because I'm trying to show how you what form is in a drawing, and I think the best way to show that, that's actually very generalized there. I should leave it. I'm trying to show what form is in a drawing. I think the best way to show it is to have a side-by-side comparison of what is and what isn't. For me, it usually hits in the morning when you wake up and you're blinded by shittiness of your shittiness of your work. It's what happened to me. It's 2:57 when I started. I started about 10 minutes ago. Literally the earliest I could have started today. Then you portrayed her booty. Also, you have to keep in mind, though, that the camera's at an angle, so it's going to make it look a little thinner than I actually made it. So, it's just what it is. I'm shifting the drawing, and then I have to get it back proper, because this still is not. And this is kind of turning into how to shift your drawing again, but it's all good. See, I don't even need to show myself shifting the drawing, though. It does help. And I don't care if the paper's scarred, because this is the what not to do drawing. Yeah, it's going to be, so I'm going to be doing, this video is going to be this drawing and another drawing. The other drawing is going to be the same pose, but it's going to have form to it, structure, anatomy, solidity. I'm going to make it really nice and solid. It's going to look sculptural. It's going to have the subtlety of form. Here, what I'm doing, like, for example, if I was doing the hip here, like, I'd be going through and actually leaving some of these points here, you know, to kind of accentuate, for example, the form a little bit. So when you step back, it turns a little bit more. I'd be leaving a little bit more straight lines. This is Diablo 2, Resurrected. Yeah, you could play some StarCraft 2 if you wanted. Anyway, so what I did, I also found that because I was trying to go through and curve it and do all this stuff, and I was kind of digging in harder than I would have in certain areas. Like, I would never have gone this dark right here. Like, at any point, I don't think I go this dark here, but like here I might, but I wouldn't do it so soon. But people who generalize do. Consequently, it scarred the paper a little bit up top, which is good. So that's like kind of also one of the things that can happen. All right, it's one of the things that can happen with this if you're not doing it correctly. Still needs to come over just a little bit. That's it. There. Oh, and tag it. You wouldn't be saying that if you saw the last two models that we had in our class, by the way. I do have some very good models, though. But I also have some that aren't. I get what I can, I take what I can get. Play Diablo 4 at all? No, I haven't, not yet. I got banned from Warcraft for a week. I got really upset with them. Because they cited me on things that I did before my last... Like, I got suspended because I was spamming these things in Battlegrounds in a spell, which was funny. I got suspended for it, but then they cited stuff that happened way long ago, but they probably were right in doing it in a roundabout way, which I won't get into. But anyway, I was kind of pissed off about it, so I haven't played. I'll probably end up playing at some point. Ever noticed some artists paint the female body into curvy shapes to the point that it looks fake and ugly, like Kim Kardashian shit? Yeah, yep. It does not go well in painting unless it's some manga. Yeah. It's my favorite thing to hear about a young boy's ideal figure of a woman. Young boy. You gonna take that? He's 18. Boy. Wait a second, I need to see what's happening here. Give me a sec. Actually, no, I was right. This doesn't go over that far. I'm being stupid right now. I'm being very stupid. It's whatever. That goes there. That's where that piece is. Ooh. And then this goes over that way just a little bit. And then we're okay. This is one of those things where I'm just going to kind of erase that whole area. It's okay. I got enough information. My teenage boy's ideal figure of a woman. So wait, did you get banned from WoW? Was it your ice wall? I think partially it was. That was in one of the things that it said, and I think there are a lot of people in there who take offense to that. Like, there are a lot of people who are offended by the word wall now because of all the bullshit You're like, you can't say that. Xerx was really angry over it. Ideal human of the female body changed a lot through our periods. Well, so what happened, Clara, was originally I got banned for the macros, which they had a point. I was saying suck on it, and that is my testicle when I put a frozen orb out and stuff like that, which, you know, it's like it wasn't directed at anybody, but there are just some people who are constantly offended and they had to report it. And, you know, that's on me because I know there are people out there like that. That's on me. So anyway, instead of getting rid of the macros, yeah, they like more chubby ones, and also the high hairline and all that stuff back then. I guess the high hairline was maybe more medieval. Maybe it was Renaissance. Anyway, so I kept the macros, but I just changed them, like Icy Ball, I choose you, instead of that as my testicle. I did Power Word Fart. That got reported. They have a fart emoting game. But I think they were reporting it more for spam of chat instead of abusive chat, which is what they flagged me for. But I think people just reported it abusive chat because they're not going to take the time to categorize it properly. But I was also reported for saying Blizzard cares. I was reported for saying no at one point. It's obvious that it's automated, and they don't want to deal with it. So when I appealed it, I don't think they checked it. If they did, they didn't do their job, or they're fucking idiots, which I think both are true, personally. But anyway, that's what happened. So yeah, that's it. You need to be in the League of Legends community where they spew actual offensive. That's my point. Like, what I was saying wasn't bad. Blizzard is soft. They're a bunch of pussies. Ruben's Nudes got a lot of hate. How so, Tagian? I didn't hear about that. Okay, let me fix this, because this is just like falling apart here. See, this shape is just damn awful. But it just makes me angry at them because they're turning women into fruit. They won't say that there's male and female because they're scared of offending God knows who. I mean, they're doing stupid things, and they're virtue signaling, and it's just pissing me off. Like, no, I play that stuff to get away from that, and I didn't attack anybody. I didn't do anything like that, and they're kicking me, they're banning me, they're doing all sorts of stuff. It's just, it makes me want to do more of it, frankly, because I'm not mature with that. They're very fleshy. They're very I've seen them. Sorry oh yeah, it's all good, Clara. I noticed a lot of people get muted in Heroes of the Storm. I think it's, you report someone a couple times, they just get auto-banned. That's what happens. It's an automated system that they've given to the player base's hands. And so it's the player base who's determining this stuff, and there are people who abuse it, and there are people who are just, like, the people who are going to be reporting are the people who are constantly offended and constantly, they're just like sensitive people. They're the last people that that should be doing that, to be honest with you. Because it's an abuse of power. There are so many people who are muted, and HOTS has never been a toxic game. Yeah, the woke mob. It's what it is. And Blizzard's becoming woke, and I don't like it. You know? Like, back in the 90s, they were like freaking badass. It was fun. used to judge people in the tribunal for League of Legends. It was an in-depth process. You have to read all the comments to get context. Like, I just want to play a game that's cool. I don't want to be preached to by a bunch of like woke idiots who don't know who don't know what they're talking about, because they don't. They're not smart people. Like, they don't reason things out. Every time something like this happens, they cite the terms of service to me, like, and Twitch has done this. And every time I'm like, well, this doesn't apply to me. Why would you give me this and say, you read this? And it's a bunch of bullshit that kind of justifies what I've done. I was judge people. But they weren't woke back in the day, is my point. Like, back, like 15, 20 years ago, they weren't. I don't think, maybe 20 years ago. But they've been around for a long time. Fake woke? I don't know if it's fake or whatever. I think that stuff is just so corrosive. I don't know why you would bring that into it. I know why you would bring it in the company. For some reason, they think they need to hire these people, these PR people, and they still think that the way to go is that way because, it's like the constantly offended are the ones who are going to be causing the problem, so you have to appease them. I think that's what it is, but I've kind of had it, as you can tell, because normally I don't really talk about this much stuff, but I guess it's frustrating when, like I was talking about yesterday, like, I have to take care of my dad, and I need an escape, and, there's a lot of pressure, and it used to be that was a way of escape. Now, if I log in and just want to hang out and have fun with my friends, well, now I have to be afraid of saying something wrong in the midst of just having fun, joking around. Like, it could be nothing wrong, but somebody decides to report it, because there are people in the game who don't like me because, frankly, I have outsmarted them several times in spectacular fashion, and it pisses them off. That's true. And anyway, I'm kind of going off on a rant. I'm tired of dealing with idiots, frankly. I'm starting to turn into my characters that I play. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit distracted today, as you can tell. Let me try to get this bag. This is an HB, by the way. I should be probably using a B. As we're playing Tandara. You never change and mute yourself for fear of offending stupid people. But the problem is that it's now like if that stuff keeps on happening, next time it's going to be a month. Like, I have had no outlet for a week. None. And look, don't get me wrong, I love this type of stuff, and it's, in a way, this is my outlet, but it's also something that I do all the time. I've done a lot, right? And it requires a lot of energy. And at this point, it requires a lot of energy. It requires more energy to actually get from point A to point B into the studio than it does for me to actually get the work done. That's how hard it is for me to get to work now. I need something at the end of the day when I have maybe an hour to myself to just unwind. And it's now become problematic because of these fucks. Which is true. See, this is wrong here. You see that? It's okay. We'll get this. See, this is going to be higher. It's like I see a lot of what's wrong. Don't be alarmed. I see a lot of what's wrong. But this is, again, this is how this type of work goes. Is that sometimes we got that there. And then this part is going to be coming up just a little bit. And this, comes up just a little bit, but then we have that, which this probably needs to come in some, I think. That's actually pretty damn close. Give me a sec, I think this actually just drops a little bit. I think I'm just not being precise here. There we go, that's it. It's kind of dry. I'm good at distracting from talking about art. When they banned you, was it your entire account? You couldn't even play HOTS? No, I can do that, it's just I couldn't play Warcraft. Which I had a week left on my time, and they're not gonna pay that back. It's not like they're gonna delay that, I don't think. I like it, not my cup of tea. I prefer looking at fit, beautiful people. Neoclassical nude is kind of dry. It's kind of too much, though. Particularly annoying about a band is you pay monthly subscriptions to play, too. Yeah, that's one of the things that got to me as well, and they don't even care. Rubens nude where of Rubens nude were a little bit skinny, it would be good. So let's see. Let me see what Taggy and you are saying. You know, the nude I like. I think she's very good. Kat is very good here. I don't know if I should send her. Nah, she doesn't care. She has a very good figure, and I also like. And I'm not calling her fat. She's actually in shape, very good shape. This is a very good figure right here. You know, I like people who are in shape and you can see some tone and stuff. I like that in painting, and I like that in reality. Like, I think it works very well. Like people who are in shape. You know, so, like I shared that Sylvester Stallone video with everybody yesterday, and that is one of the things I will say that's kind of been saving me recently is just being able to exercise and work out, because you feel so much better afterwards and you accomplish something. And I can also think more clearly and smoothly throughout the day because of it. And I think that it's very important to take care of yourself. I don't think, you know, I think, you know, becoming overweight can be very dangerous, and it's not fun, right? And I think that it really, and I don't like how people, I'll say this, I don't like how people tie their self-worth into how physically fit they are, because I think everybody has worth, but I think it's very important to take care of yourself and recognizing that you do have that worth, right? Like it's very important to stay in shape and to be as strong as you can be for whatever age you are, right? That's what I think. Let me turn this down just a little bit. It's a little bit loud. You know, and you know, because Sylvester Stallone, like, he always stayed in shape, right? He stayed in shape throughout his life, right? Yes, I know. And now the man is 70, 75, somewhere around there, 72 maybe. And so, but he's still very strong and he's very wise. He really is very wise for you know, he's seen a lot. He's a hard worker, and you know, he really broke down a very good reason why you should be working out. It's not supposed to be a vain thing, but I think it's very important for. I really do believe to be it'll help you to be a better artist. Working out. I really do believe that. Just doing a little bit every day. You don't need to be like a beast in the gym, right? You don't need to be a beast. Just doing a little bit every single day, like Sylvester Stallone said, he said to keep the blood running, right? If you are perfectly healthy, just not sculpted, you still have some body fat, I think that's totally fine. It's hard to honestly tell how healthy a person is by looking at them. That's totally fine. I think that's fine. I just think it's important to take care of yourself. It's a little fat's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about like people who are like 20, 30 pounds overweight, and it's just fat, and they don't exercise, and it doesn't create good discipline. And I think they'll feel better if they lose the weight and if they exercise, not for a vain point of view. But you know what I'm talking about, Clara. You're playing devil's advocate here, right? I mean, I'm not saying that like if somebody's 5 pounds overweight, then they're screwed or something. You know, if you see somebody walking on the street, they're just like, you can tell who takes care of themselves and who doesn't. What I think is, it's my ideal, it's Frank Fretzet Female News. I'll have to check that out. Do you know they don't exercise though? Yeah, some of them. Yes. Yeah. There's some people. And maybe they do. Maybe they're starting to exercise, right? Good. That's a good thing, right? But I think people are like, I think people get too sympathetic to the detriment of the actual health of the person. It's like they want to okay it to say, oh yes, you can be fat and this and that, and you know it's totally fine, and fat shaming's bad. But they're taking it too far. Like, nobody's fat shaming. We're just saying, you know, like it's more of an act of caring. Like, you want people to be healthy, you know? And, you know, there's some people who are naturally bigger people. I get that. That's fine. That's not what I'm saying. Like, you know? Well, Clara, you can tell. Come on. You're trying to blur the lines here with this stuff. Now, some people, sure, you can't tell. I'm not out there like staring and like judging. I'm just making a broad statement. Like, take care of yourself. That's all I'm saying. Too many people make excuses, and I think it's stupid as shit. Yeah, Claire's looking for an order. It's all good. There could be someone who looks great, but they live very unhealthily, never exercise, and eat terrible food. That's true. True. That's true. In which case, did you watch the video I sent you? By the way, also some people have extra weight and they exercise and eat healthy, but they just happen to carry some extra pounds. Yeah, this is true, but also there are people who eat a lot, who don't exercise, who carry those pounds because they don't exercise and they intake more than they burn off. And they don't feel good, and they're not happy about themselves, and they're always looking for excuses, and they'll go through and make people feel guilty and accuse them of fat shaming if anybody ever mentions that, when in fact people are mentioning it because it's unhealthy for the person they care about them, like perhaps their family, and it can be annoying. And you're not going to get anybody to work out by badgering them. So he has good taste. Fretzet, you know. But like, I'm not saying that you have to be like an ideal. Everybody's body type's different. You know what I'm saying. Clara knows what I'm saying. Clara knows what I'm saying. But also, you know, look, I'll say this. Like, just because somebody's fat doesn't make them a bad person, too, if that needs to be said. Right? There's some real shitty in shape people out there. Trust me. I'm not one of them, definitely. I just think you should take care of your body. That's it. And I think if you take care of your body, you're going to have, like, you're going to be a happier person in general. I think it's going to attribute to that. You know, it is like, don't you think so? Don't you think that if you're sure there are, but I'm just saying it's hard to tell who who you're making assumptions here. No, I'm not. When did I make an assumption? Die, unwanted. I shall get nude for portrait then. I'll do the Titanic pose. Here we go. Clara, I never made an assumption. You're putting words in my mouth because you like to argue. I never said anything. I said there are people out there who don't exercise. Is that an assumption? Am I just assuming? Am I wrong in saying that? I don't see how you could argue with anything I've just said. Like, I want to hear what you're thinking here. What are you talking about? Shit. When I say you, I was speaking generally, not you. But the thing is, I'm speaking specifically. You're speaking generally, and whenever I prove you wrong, you go and you say, oh, I was speaking generally. So you can say whatever you want that way, and then we're going to have a conversation where I'm talking in circles, you're talking in circles, and there is no right, there is no wrong. It's just all, perspective and this and that. Like, it's all how, you're, it's all bullshit. That's what you're doing. I'm speaking straight up right now because I probably don't have the patience to speak around in circles anymore at this point in my life. When you draw nudes for a long time, I think that you will appreciate every body type. I like slim and chunky, all kinds of shit. Logan says the same thing about me when we argue, says I'm slippery. Yeah, well, I mean, you like coming up with these points, but I mean, arguing, but you can't, whenever you get trapped, then you generalize everything and say, oh, well, I wasn't saying you specifically. Well, I'm speaking specifically. You said you, and you were saying me. You were saying that I am, what did you say? You said, sure there are, but I'm saying it's hard to tell who is who, right? You are making assumptions there. And then when I said what I said, you said, when I say you, I was speaking generally. That's bullshit, Clara. You know that's bullshit. I swear to you, I'm not meaning to argue, just wanting to get my argument across. Right, I don't care one way or the other. I'm not upset. I'm just saying, this is not that complicated. If you have somebody who's 400 pounds, all right, do you think that they're happy, in that type of body? Do you think that? Now, whether or not, I'm not going to go through and say, oh, they should, I can say they should do this. It's their choice. That's not in question. It's their choice. It's their body. They can do what they want. But do you really think, if you see somebody sitting on the couch 24/7, and they weigh 300, 400 pounds, and there's somebody who's 5.5 feet tall, and there are a lot of people like that. I mean, come on. That's all I'm saying. Everyone has a preference, but unfortunately we aren't allowed to like what we like, but instead just accept the mainstream, what's cool to say is going on. Yeah, Di, and that's what, kind of today I guess I'm having a backlash against that stuff because I'm just sick of it. I am. I mean, Clara, you can tell people who don't work out. I guarantee you, probably, I don't know. You can tell. You know what I'm saying. Look, my point in saying that was that he had a very good point, and for me, it's really helped because, you know, it helps me to think clearer. It helps me to feel better about myself, you know, like just physically. It's enabling me to deal with my dad because my brother and sister can't because they're not strong enough. All right? So like that's a practical level. If I was 100 pounds overweight and weak, I would not be able to help my dad right now. There's one. That's a big one. Okay, let's go specifically. What do you think, Lewis? Do you think a 400-pound could be healthy or they are always unhealthy? 400 pounds? If you're 400 pounds of like fat, that's very unhealthy. I think that's pretty obvious. Could they get healthy? Yeah, I think so. I think they can definitely. I think it's very respectable. And here's this. There are a lot of people who struggle with weight, and I'm not trying to sound incompassionate. I actually have more compassion. I have more compassion. I just have the fucking nuts to say it, whereas other people want to be pussies and not say what they think because they want to sound compassionate and it's okay to do whatever you want to do and it doesn't help the person, it makes it worse. I think they can totally get like, I always want to see people in the best shape that they can and feeling as good as they can and being as capable as they can be because I care about people. That's me. So yes, 400 pounds is a horrible situation to be in. Yeah. But for me, tagging in, it's about being capable, right? You have to, like I can lift my dad up. He needs to be lifted up. I need to lift him up. I need to put him in the tub. I need to do all this stuff right now. I was not staying in shape thinking that I'm going to have to do this, but I'm able to do it because of that. And it's very, now I don't subscribe to being a jackass in the gym and being vain about your body. I do not like that. That I don't like. All right? I think that's a waste of time, and it's not good for anybody to look at themselves like that and to, because one day you're going to lose it anyway. It's not good. It's not good to judge people, like judge their worth based off their body. But it's important to, like, the way that I look at people, I say that's a person, they deserve respect, and they deserve for themselves to respect their bodies, because I think it's very important. I think it's a valuable thing. You know, that's my view on that. I think it's very important to stay in shape. You know, and people need to stop being so butthurt when, you know, somebody's 100, 200 pounds overweight and they get called out and say, hey, you should lose some of that weight because you're not looking too good and it's not healthy and you're going to feel better if, you know, and if they start screaming, well, you're fat shaming me and this and that, well, they can do that, that's fine, but it's not going to help them, you know. Come back to this. You know, it's just how it is. You know, and the other thing staying in shape does, it does increase your discipline. I've felt it in my work, in my own work, in this type of work, which is very, you know, it's very consuming. It's very hard to do. I'm a weird kid because I had to grow up fast than most my age, but I like to think that I have more common sense than most in my age group. Yeah, and it's good to seek common sense and always try to, you know, always try to have it, right? So you have if you have common sense, you can save yourself from falling into a lot of errors that most people do, and it just has to do with actually thinking about what you're doing before and just reasoning it out. I'll be honest, I've never weighed more than 140, so I mean, I think you're in shape, Clara. So I don't know what being 400 pounds would be like, but I've heard people who weigh that much who say they do work out and eat healthy. They just got to that unhealthy weight, maybe through bad decisions years ago or who knows what, I don't know. But they could be actively trying and taking on that judgment, and that probably is tough. Well, if they're trying to get out of it, good. But, I mean, they didn't just one day wake up and were 400 pounds, Clara. Like, to get 400 pounds, you have to do some heavy eating. You have to intake more than you're, extolling. That's what it is. And sure, it might have happened years ago, and perhaps now they're eating healthy. But also what I've seen is that there are a lot of people, most people, who are very overweight, because I think 70% of it's what you eat. Most people who are very overweight, they don't know what is good to eat. They think it's normal to eat shit, and they think that's good. So you also have to take that into account, and I've seen this, like, a lot. Now, having said that, there are people who do eat very healthily, and I don't always eat the best myself either. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that when I am eating well and working out, I feel the best. Even though I have never weighed that weight, I can only imagine how bad it is, And I have the utmost respect for anybody who is able to lose that weight. That requires a lot of discipline, and it's something that's very difficult to do. I have the utmost respect for anybody who even attempts to do that, whatever effort it is that they're doing, and I think that should be encouraged. I just don't like these people who like constantly make excuses for that. I think that's the worst thing you can do for people, is to make excuses for their mediocrity because you want to come off as compassion. I think it's fucking lame. I think it's incredibly, I think it's a coward move, and I think it's stupid. Unfortunately, it's wrong to have your own thoughts. Being able to think has become dangerous. Can you imagine that? Yeah, I know. As I know this is wacky today. It's whatever, though. We'll figure this out. I'm kind of all over the place with this. Let's kind of get this going again. Okay, so we have this here. This is coming here. This is too big. Over just a little bit. Up. Hit that. Here. There. Just need to focus a second. There we go. Bring that in. There. It's here. There. That goes down to here. This cuts. This. There. Like, I wouldn't want my kid to feel, I would want them to be healthy too. And, and if you ask any doctor, especially one who does surgery, the health risks of somebody who's like incredibly overweight just skyrocket, And I'm saying that's not to put those people down, It's, in other news, my running has been continually improving. I've made it. You're running 12. See, that's better than I can do. I can't do that. That's really good. I didn't know you were running, Clara. One day in high school, we had gym class, and we all did push-ups, and one girl was overweight, and every time it was her turn, the teacher always skipped her and avoided talking about it because the girl is over-emotional and gets offended really fast. Yeah, and that sucks, because she's hurting herself. One push-up won't kill you, right? And, I'm not the type of person who would enable that. There are people who would enable that. And do you think that that would help her if people enabled that type of behavior? In reality, when you're a kid, you have to do stuff you don't want to do all the time, right? Whether it's schoolwork, or like doing certain activities, whether it's reading in front of the class, doing what your mom says, all these things, right? But it's done for your good. And it's important that, kids develop the discipline and, they learn how to improve themselves at an early age. See, this is how I would do form right here, crossing like that, but I'm going to round it off. It's better than standing there stuffing your mouth with junk food. Has anyone seen the video of the guy who ate Taco Bell for 30 days and lost weight? Did he really? No, I haven't seen it. I've seen the one where the guy went to McDonald's and almost died for it was a month. But also, how much did that guy weigh who was just going to eat at Taco Bell? It's another thing. Everyone gets offended so easy. Even if you joke about my own trauma, I get told that I'm offending them. I know, man. But there are people out there who won't get offended. And I think the pendulum, it swings both ways. Like, I think it'll eventually come back. Because I was watching a movie from the 70s, Slapshot. And they do not, I like that movie because they say all sorts of stuff that so many people today would be like, oh, that's so PC, that's not PC. You can't say that, blah, blah, blah. And they would just virtue signal, shame you and all this stuff, She would bring that shit on Conversation 24/7. Yeah, I know. It's not, you know what? The only person it hurts is her. That's the sad thing. She actually is the one getting hurt from it. She is. They don't want to hurt her feelings, so she's the one who's going to have to, she's the one who is going to be affected by this now. It's just, that's how it is. Why? Because the people who are in charge aren't doing their job as, whether it's a parent, whether it's a mentor. That's their job, is to guide children like that, not let the child guide them. Now, there's always stuff within reason, right? You don't want to but there's certain things that are detrimental to children. And one of them is just allowing them to, kind of be the boss of themselves in that regard, especially with something with health. Like that, because, they're that's not good. It was interesting that it was pretty average weight. Monitoring his vitals the whole way through, ate at least one of each thing off the menu. Huh, interesting. Oh wait, I posted the video in Discord. Okay, she would bring, and then I heard the other day people are trying to cancel Golden Girls. I have to watch a couple clips and Google it to find out about it, to be honest. The clips I saw were funny. There's a lot of canceling going on, which is very unhealthy. It's not a good thing. 3 meals a day at least. Only at Taco Bell. Yeah. Interesting. Only at Taco Bell. I guess, Taco Bell, maybe there's some healthy things you can eat there, right? I think, exercise and move and try to eat healthily. You're gonna feel better about yourself, It's a admirable thing to, but you want to be capable too, right? Like I said, I need to be able to help my dad right now. And the only way to help him is for me to be disciplined myself, Well, another thing, Taco Bell has been making efforts to be healthier, but no one knew that. That's a good thing. The taco ended up being one of the healthier items, least amount of sodium. That makes sense. I joke every time about height with everybody. I'm a shorter guy. How tall are you, Taggin? I don't know if I'd be able to work that out. You go in centimeters, I think. Be healthy, then eat Taco Bell. I wore a Hobbit shirt once. You'll probably grow, man. You still have a couple years, I think. But being tall, it's not a big deal. Oh, all right. So this drawing is the over-modeled drawing. I kind of shifted this because it was wrong. I saw it when I came in today. I said, screw it, I'll just fix it. Because that's what I do. I fix things. All I do is fix my work, right? Yeah. Look, so in art, a lot of people compartmentalize art. Say, oh, if I want to be good at art, I need to do this, A, B, C, D in art. But in art, too, you'll find training's very important. If you're going to learn to paint, you have to learn to draw. That's within art. But there's also other things, like how you take care of yourself is reflected in your work. And you'll find that the more you do it in painting. And so, right, because this is what I do professionally. So that's why I shared the video that I shared in our Discord, because Sylvester Stallone, first off, he's badass, number one. I think we can agree with that. But he also, this guy has life experience that most of us don't have, right? I definitely don't have it. I don't have his experience. And he's an older man who stays in shape, and he has some very valuable insight, and I respect that. And it applies, I made that connection with artwork, right? And so that's why I brought this up today. I still have time to grow. A compatible human being, I can fit anywhere. You don't have a problem with it, it's short and fast. There you go, man. You gotta be quick. You gotta be quick. All right. I'm gonna start cleaning this up some. So this again, is the over-modeled version. Not over-modeled. It's the generalized version of a drawing. Generalization. The anatomy is generally there, but it's not. It doesn't have the subtlety to it. It's kind of smoothed over a little bit too much, and so that's what we're going to go for here. This, to be honest with you, I really hate this, but I like it more than what I've been doing. Just saying. Travel is luggage to save money. Yep. All right. Some people call me a squirrel, small, fast. Travel is like, what have you been doing, Lewis? What are you talking about, Clara? I also get tantrums here and there. Tantrums? What are you talking about? Typical short guy. There we go. Yeah, so this is all very general. It's not well thought out, the shapes, all these things, and that's kind of what we're going for here, right? Now, the reason why I don't like this that much is because I feel like I'm developing a bad habit. I don't want to draw this way and get this type of method into my head. I just don't. But I have to for the sake of the video. So, this video, I want it to be 8 minutes and straight to the point from the start. That's what I want. So I'm going to cut down on the skits and all that stuff. I might have flashes here and there, but I want it to be something very information, like straight to the point, this and that, ABCD, but entertaining at the same time. So you said you don't like doing this, but it's better than what you, oh, yeah, they're talking about the house painting, which I'm actually enjoying a little bit more right now. Mona Lisa with ketchup. Short guys get angry very fast. It's true. Do they really? Yeah. You know, I don't know. There we go. Let me sharpen my pencil really quick. Unify this. Sharpen this pencil really quick. Dad, you doing okay? You doing okay? He's doing okay. Let me check on him just for a second. See how the old man is doing. Got him in the back. I feel kind of bad for him because he has to stay with me in here, but I think it's better than being at the place, the home, which we got him out of. You doing okay? Yeah? What are you up to? You tired? Are you tired? You like that painting? He likes it. Yeah, that's my painting of the house. Yeah, you like that? There you go. Good man. Look at you. You want this magazine? Look at this magazine. Scar magazine. See that? Through that shit. Ooh, up, 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 up. All right. I'm sure he's doing okay. So we got to get him walking. Get him walking. How's the old goat doing? He's doing good today. He's a little bit tired today. Short is nice because you probably are more likely to get discounted tickets. How? Really? Also probably really good at playing Limbo. Huh. So let's get regular paper towel. Excuse me. So this is B. And let's just model this. Keep modeling, keep modeling. So there's a difference between something being over-modeled and then something being generalized, right? Generalized is generally there, right? There's the form's very lacking. There's not really form. It's just very smooth. But then something that's over-modeled is something that where the values are too light and too dark where they shouldn't be. So there's too much of a contrast. Or the lines are too dark or whatever. It's just overdone. Walk through. Dagging, spry. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of the difference between being over-modeled and, and something being generalized. That's kind of it. So I'm aiming more for obviously being generalized, right? That's what we're doing here. Let me do this. Take this. trying to take away all the form that I might have put in here. Make it nice and smooth. Now here's the thing. This way, what I'm doing is actually a viable way of working, but I'm going to stop it before I get form. So even right now, I could get form. I could go through like, this is nice to do because you can kind of push the pencil into the paper and it gets more smooth. So this is a nice smooth finish right here. It has a little bit of tooth, and the more I go over it, the lighter it'll get, but it'll also get a little bit smoother. And so I can continuously go over this back and forth with pencil and then go back in and smooth this in and slowly get it very uniform and even and take my time with it. Right? I can do that as a nice effect, and then I could go through and really hatch out the shapes with it, right? The very, like the subtle shapes and what have you. I could definitely do that if I wanted to. But again, I'm going to leave this particular drawing as something that is, generalized. It's not going to have that form that we want. So some of the stuff, like I might get the form and then I'm going to try to take it out. It's all general. We're going to head out. Claire, all right. Thank you. Yeah, it was fun, as usual. Hey, wait, before you go, have you played Diablo 4 yet? I didn't ask you. All right, and we're just continuously moving through here. Just slowly build this up. See, I really don't need to develop it so much. That's one of the things. It's like it should be a little bit underdeveloped. Clara is always playing devil's advocate, which is good to do. It's a really good thing to do. But I think I was pretty clear. I don't have, I'm not on a quest against anybody who's fat or overweight. Y'all know what I was saying, right? I just think it's important to stay in shape, for your mental well-being. And I think to benefit anybody, I want people to be benefited, feel good about themselves, And I think, I can speak from experience that it does help in this type of work. It does a lot. Just doing something in the morning, it gets your brain going, it gets you moving, right? It gets your blood flowing, the endorphins flowing, which is really nice. It puts you in a better mood. It's not going to fix all your life problems, obviously. If you're depressed, you might be less depressed. It might be something that kind of, but I would definitely recommend it for anybody who, in whatever you're going into, especially if it's something that you have to use your brain and think things through, and you have to try to push yourself beyond what you can think, every day. I would recommend a little bit of exercise in the morning to clear your head with this stuff. Tagging, I would recommend that, which you do. You swim, which I'm sure you could tell. One day I was doing my daily swimming, and there was this competition with kids. The kid who wins gets a 3-month free membership at the swimming pool center. So I had just saved my teen mustache, and I looked younger, so I joined and destroyed them and got a free membership. The coach of the kids club told me, "Kid, you go pro." Wait, you just had shaved your teen mustache. That's really funny. That's awesome. Kid, you're going pro. I love swimming, man. It's one of my favorite things. That's really cool. Tegan always has a story like that. You know, I don't believe in, like, again, I don't believe in being like a dick about, there are a lot of people who go to the gym and they just stare at themselves in the mirror, and it frankly makes me sick. That I don't like. I do not like that. I think that is pathetic. I've got a thick mustache. Nice, man. You know, I think it's important to not be a dick about that stuff. Let's keep this general. Keep it general. Okay, so I'm going to take some of the form out here, okay? I'm trying to. There's more going on here than I'm putting into it. But I'm smoothing all this stuff out. Same here, I'm going to smooth this out. Let's just make this one curve here. Okay? I'm going to take away all that form in there. I'm going to take away the value, the line value, right? How light or dark it is. I'm going to make it all uniform. For a transfer drawing, this would be okay because you lose a lot in the transfer process, but for a final drawing, no. And I look younger than my age. Taking. There we go. See this? I'm just rounding this off. Let's smooth that out just a little bit. There we go. There we go. See? This is generalization right here. It's generally in the right place, but it's not there. This. Smooth. It's actually kind of correct. Okay, and then, wait, which one? Oh, you're talking about the coach? It's really funny, Taggy. I always like it when Claire is in the stream. She's fun. All right, there we go. And then this, let's get, actually drops down just a little bit. I'm glad I moved that today. There. And then this, I've come up with this. Like I'm really, let's curve that. Whoops, I didn't curve it right. There. See, it's just very cut out now. That's how this is. This part right here, this elbow, I'm going to lose the form in it. I'm going to make it nice and rounded. All right. This is how most people draw elbows. This part. I'm going to get my dad a little food. Give me 1 second. I'll be back in about 40 seconds. It's right over here. All right, old man. Dad, you hungry? Are you hungry? Yeah, you're hungry. You want to eat this shit? You doing okay? All right. Come here. You want these apples? Want to eat these apples? Look at this. Some good fruit for you. Want to eat? There we go. Eat this. There you go. Eat, eat. Can you eat? Here. Can you eat? Eat this. Here. Here. Eat. Take this. Good. You like that? Eat. You gotta eat. Stay strong. Okay. All right. Got it. Eat. Guys, all right. Generalizing the drawing. You never want to do this. This is for a video. This is for a video. This is what we do. This drawing, and I'll have another one. It's all rounded. There's no description to it. It's not good. This is by design. Let me bring that up a little bit higher. That's how most people draw. It's like this. So I'll show you exactly how. That's fine. Round it. There we go. Have you ever tried filling in the grains of the paper to get an even value? I was actually doing that with this here. So, yeah, going in, right? And I could use a stump too if I wanted to. I actually have a makeshift one. This one I made. Here, look at this. This one I made for a video. And then, but let's get one. We'll get a stump. Why not? Which I have right. Should be over here. Is this over here? I don't know where it is. I'll just use this one. Well, I don't really use them that much, if at all. Makeshift one. Pushes it in, and you can go back over it. You know, like with a sharp point graphite? Yeah, I've done that too. Yes, predominantly I've done that. And what I would do is probably get an H or a 2H, go into that, but I could also do that probably do it with the HB. But I'm not going to do that necessarily for this fight, because I think what I'm doing is going to suffice. You know, like it's really going to, you know, like doing this stuff here, like you can do that. You know, go in, but I'm not going to do that on stream because it's boring as shit to watch, honestly. Just trying to make everything nice and smooth, which again is not how I normally draw. That is not how I draw. So I'll be doing another drawing that has form, structure, solidity to it, right? It's going to have a nice touch, a nice tooth. We'll do a side-by-side comparison with them. And I'm going to try to make the video 8 minutes. That's my goal, 8 minutes, and I'll have perhaps one of those Adobe explanations as well. Right. A lot of academies render bargs like that. And they kind of do it at the academy with charcoal as well. That's kind of how I build up the charcoal drawings. I'll go into it like that, and because it's kind of like you either need to brush it in, or you need to actually use charcoal in a manner that can actually get it in those grooves so it's nice and smooth, which I eventually do one way or the other. Right. So I'm not going to worry about all these individual shapes in here. This is all very generalized. The impression is in the ballpark, except this darkness, for how dark this is, this needs to be darker. So I'm going to darken this some because I know that the drawing that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to try to make it very realistic, and I'll have solid form. And so I'm going to push the value range, meaning the darks. I'm going to push that much more. And so this one I should probably catch up to it. Even though the other one's not done, it's not even, I kind of started it, right? It's the one that Twitch kicked me for nudity, but they did that because of this image right here that I have set up, which I have since rectified with the censoring. But yeah. This is too wide. So if something's over-modeled, right, it's overworked. Perhaps we made this too dark, you know, like this area right here might be too dark. We might have this area is too dark here, right? Like, in fact, I'm going to overwork this area right here so that I can actually touch on that in the video, okay? So this right here is over-modeled. Do you see that? Now this pops out way too much for where, and y'all can see it. If you squint your eyes, this area is going to be a little bit darker. This is going to be, you know, there's not going to be such a discrepancy between the lights and the darks. If this would make sense if I went through and lowered this value. All right, so I'm going to leave this here just as a little bit of an example of what over-modeling is. But like generalizing is something separate. And oftentimes those two go hand in hand in beginner drawings. Beginners will oftentimes, aside from having the proportions incorrect, they'll have the drawing over-modeled and generalized. Those are the two things. So this is very over-modeled here. That doesn't work, okay? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it because this drawing is what not to do, okay? This drawing is what not to do. There's these subtle shadow shapes in there that I'm not going to really go for. And if I wanted to, I could really use that to overmodel. Most people will go through and make this area right here. There's a little bit of light to make that really bright. That'll look overmodeled, right? Like most people would darken this too much here, like this. Well, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to overmodel the whole thing. This is mainly how to convey form and what that means. The thing is, this drawing, as it is, if I was doing this serious, I could totally salvage this and make it, give it form. Obviously, this is very easy to fix right here. Just bring the values closer together. So if something's over modeled, the solution to that is to unify. You bring this value closer to this value, whether it's making this dark or this light. So, and you see to do these things by looking at the entire shape all at once, and squinting down and such, and that's how you're able to see this stuff, and through practice. And that's how, that's how we go about that. This, I kind of gave her some kinkles. Let me bring that in just a little bit. So I started this drawing actually in the beginning of the stream. When I set up today, I noticed that the drawing was too straight up and down. Like, she's kind of like standing like this, but like this top part was kind of pushing out like that more than I had it. And so that's the gesture. That's one of the things you want to try to get, and I did not get that yesterday, admittedly. So I fixed that today effortlessly. With a lot of effort, too much. Oof. Bring that in somehow. Draw this. I'll slowly visualize what we got to do. And we're using a combination of the eraser and the pencil to get this. And that's how we slowly fix what we have messed up. These gummy erasers are nice because you can shape them however you want, and they're durable enough, they're tough enough to actually be able to take up that pencil, assuming that you haven't like scarred the paper with it. If you scarred the paper, it's very difficult to erase. But as it is, I haven't, and so because ideally when you erase, you want, like, if you have something here, especially in the beginning when we're blocking things in stuff, you want to be able to erase very quick in the beginning, right? All right, Laura, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You take care. It should be pretty quick to erase, pretty easy to erase the sculpt, minimal effort, maximum gain. That's what we do. So obviously it gets a little bit trickier when we start solidifying the drawing and start putting these lines in, which, again, this line right here, what I did, because this is an example of what not to do, I took away the subtlety in the form and kind of just rounded it. That's what we call generalizing a drawing, right? This right here, for example, is, I'm going to generalize this ankle right here. Let's just go through and I'm going to generalize the ankle. This is kind of coming over like that. We have a bump. It doesn't convey anything. I'm going to round this off, losing all the subtle angles that make it turn, all right? I'm not thinking about just bump this. There you go. That is generalized. That ankle is generalized. It's in the ballpark of being correct. But I literally took out the value, meaning how dark or light it is, which that does make a difference. Right? So we're just going to go with a basic outline. I'm just rounding these curves off, which again is how most beginners do this. Most people start in their careers or their studies, right? There's not that subtlety to it, so I'm really trying to take this away. So I'll be able to present a clear contrast between how to do it and how not to do it, right? Now from a distance it looks okay, but up close it's not as attractive to look at, right? It's not as attractive to look at. There we go. So within a drawing, if we're going to get the lights and darks correct, we need to see the entire thing at once so this doesn't become too dark or too light compared to this, right? They all have to, correspond to each other. Now, when I squint down, this is going to be darker still, which I might actually go darker because this up here, there's a lot of form in the back that I'm not drawing. for the reason that I've been saying. I'm generalizing this. In the next drawing that I do of this, you're going to see the form, you're going to see variation in lines, you're going to see subtle shapes. There's going to be a more solid contrast of sharp lines, of soft lines. It's going to make it more attractive to look at. It's going to make it so the drawing actually pops off the page. And to obtain that level is very difficult. That level of drawing is very hard to do. But anybody can obtain it. But to obtain it, you have to know it first. You have to at least know that it exists and be told, hey, you need to get form in your work, so you strive to do it. There's a little bump here. Let's generalize this bump. That's a general bump, which might kind of be correct, but that's okay. We'll leave it. And then this, I'm going to round this off some. There's certain planes. If I was doing this, I would break down straight lines, and they'd be very subtle, but I would break down the subtle planes of what I'm looking at, and that's how I would get the form, the anatomy in the calf, right? The front of the calf in this case. So right here, I'm just going to round everything off. I'm just going to round everything off here. Round it. This is round. Okay. It's a little bit long. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to round everything off. Until about right there. Round, 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 round. Most people round things off of that. When you round things off, it's kind of like you're saying, generally it's like this. I don't know the exact angle because I can't draw a straight line to denote it. But I think this is where it is. Now, when you draw straight lines, y'all see how much I mess up. I mess up a lot. So I'll draw straight lines. And what that's doing, it's not that I get it right off the bat. It's not that I always fully understand what I'm looking at. But at least you're trying to get it right by doing straight lines. You're trying to say, okay, I think from this point is where the angle starts. And then at this point is where the angle stops. And it goes at this angle, right? And it is this long. And so when you're thinking how long, what angle, where does it start, where does it stop? You're constantly training yourself on a large scale and a subtle scale to get this, and that's what brings life to your work because you're getting the subtlety in a different way than most people do, which is they're just kind of spitballing and saying, I think it's this. And you can get close that way, right? You can still get close that way. It's just, you know, there you go. And let's just put a little bit of a value here, but I'm not really going to put any, I'm just going to fade it off just a little bit. And then let's look at this. There. Honestly, I can't wait until I do the drawing with a form because there's such good form in this drawing. Tag in if you're there. I have a very good model, and I was drawing from her last or 2 weeks ago. Which reminds me, I need to get a model for this week. Anyway, I found a very good pose. She was in a position one of my students was drawing from, which I had set it up. I was like, this is a good spot. I knew it was a good spot, but when I went to critique him, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good pose. So I had her go in that pose at the very end of the class, and I took a picture off it that I'm gonna use to do a figure painting with. I'm gonna do a figure painting. I don't know when, obviously, but I'm going to try to do it. The house painting is coming along. That house painting is coming along. I'm actually enjoying it. The reason being is because I kind of figured out a way that I can paint it that I'll like, that I think he'll like too. And in fact, when I say he, that's my the gentleman who commissioned me. So I spoke to him today. I was telling him roughly what I was doing. He said he likes what he hears, but it's really not what he hears, it's what he sees. So he has to come in and see it. And that's kind of it. So anyway, this, I don't like that. I fix this. So a figure painting, and when I do a figure painting, I want it to be like very beautifully done. I want it just to glow. I want it to be painterly. So I want to take my time with it, and if I need to take a break during the process, I'm going to do it. I'm going to round this off. Look at that. That is a generalized ear. Cheek, generalized. Head. It's very generalized. Shadow shapes, generalized. So that is a stream I think you'll really enjoy. Bring that up some. Very generalized, no form. There's no form here. It's formless, right? It's formless. There we go. And I also have a new model coming in who she's actually, I was trying to get one that was in shape because I had some that weren't, which I don't mind. I'll go off of anybody, but I had too many that was just, I needed somebody who was a little bit more cut for variation because I didn't have, aside from this woman and one more, I don't really have that. And I also need some men, which is a problem because nobody wants to model, it seems. All right, so I'm going to, let's further generalize this, okay? And this is just going to be one swoop. There's no information in between here. It's all smooth and curved, and that's what we're doing. It's like Muka. Thick lines and such. So that's generalized. That's very generalized. Okay, let's go up to the top and balance it off. Up top here. Let's balance this up top. There's a lot going on up here, and I'm not going to denote it. This is how most people would do the elbows, I think. And I did them like this too when I started. This is how I would work. And it's not good. See, that's general, it's curved, right? There's no form to it. Look at that. That is a curvy elbow. Curve. This is such bad practice. My gosh. There. generalize, generalize, generalize. If you guys just started watching, this is going to be in a video that I'm making. It's going to contrasting what a generalized drawing is to a drawing with form, which is anatomy. This is how not to draw. So I'm making everything very curved and smooth where it should be a little bit more subtle and have more information and such to it. So that's the goal with this one. So this isn't normally how I would draw. So I'm going to try to make this a little bit more curvy. I'm not worrying about the line quality. It's just going to be a solid line, and it's a clean line for the most part, right? It's a clean line. It's a clean line. This part actually goes up. Whoops. Whoopsies. I see what I've done. I'm being stupid. My forearm's cramping. Y'all ever have that thing where it cramps right in here? Ah, Val, well, Louis Michael Guidetti VII. How's it going, Val? And also, this is over-modeled right here, and that was by design. It's too dark, this area. So that is in fact incorrect. It looks like a little caterpillar. This part. I might actually just give up partway through this stuff right here just because I don't feel like doing the hands that much. Play it off as a joke or something in the video. Could have done it. There we go. Let's overmodel this. Very general. Val, what are you doing, buddy? What are you up to? Just got home, getting ready to check my vault and have some dinner. Ah, yes, the old vault. The vault, the vault, the vault. That's fine. Something like that. Screw it. Very gentle, very gentle. Smooth out, smooth, smooth, smooth. Val, you don't want to draw this way, my friend. This is not how we draw. I actually am trying to get done with this today because I want to start with the other drawing, which is going to be much more fun to work on because I'm going to be doing it the right way. I enjoy going through and getting the subtlety and such in the actual drawing itself instead of like, it's not that I enjoy trying to finish something up, it's just like this. I'm not meaning to rush through it, but it's just boring just having to overlook everything and just round everything off, I guess. How are you doing, Dad? You eating this okay? Here, let's eat this right here. You got 2 more pieces left, okay? Or 3 actually here. Good shit. Here. Hold your hand out. There you go. Eat that. Can you eat that? There you go. Eat that stuff. There you go. Look at that. I hold this right here, okay? There we go. There we go. All right. Could probably draw a decent side boob. Don't ban me, Twitch. This is a drawing. I mean a hot tub stream. You guys like the hot tub streams. This isn't classical art, Twitch. I got banned for the last time for it. Stupid. Okay, this. Rounded that off. Huh. Okay. Let's round off some things here. Let's make this a little bit general going around here. Where's this B here? Smooth, smooth. There we go. And then let's smooth this up. Let's take away that. Look, let's bring it here. Round this. Taking away the form. This I already did a good job of doing here. Down there. This is just butchered. Screw it. That's fine for this one. And then let's see, what else do I want to do? Foot, that's okay. That's fine. The feet, that's okay. They're okay. Just some because the thing is, I could have done a video where I was like, and maybe I should, where I got like a work of art from a museum, 2 of them, and did a side-by-side comparison. I could do that too. But I think it helps, seeing specifics, especially since I can show how I actually rounded everything off. It shows me in the process of doing it. I think it's a better teacher, right? Clear it up. All right, so this is not bad right here. You're unbanned tomorrow, right? Yes, I'm unbanned tomorrow at like 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. or something. It happened early. I've got to go. All right, Tagging, thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. It's always a good time. I'll see you. Get some rest. Yeah, tomorrow, man. Tomorrow. Do it side by side. That'll be good. Oh, son of a bitch. And let me over model a little bit here too. I'm going to bring out, a lot of times people do these light shapes. They try to find the light shapes within and they'll make them too light. They'll do something like this. And they'll do something like that. I'm going to keep that there. That's going to be an example of over modeling up here. There's really not any form up here. It's kind of vague, the values. But the thing is, the values and the shadow shapes are in the ballpark. Okay, so it lacks that degree of subtlety. Let's take this transition away, take this form out here, which the form is incorrect. The drawing is incorrect here, but I'm just trying to. It's also, this is a low over modeled. If you squint down, there's more of a flow of light through here. I'm going to keep that as an example, and that's fine too. So this is how not to do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call it here for this one, I think, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to try to stream in a couple minutes just for like an hour or something, and I'm going to do the painting, but I need to take care of my dad for a second. So I'm going to end this stream, and I'll start streaming in about 30 minutes or something for like an hour. I can't stream too long, I think. That's my plan. So I'll be back on in a little bit. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Val, if you're around, catch me in a couple minutes. I'll be back on. I got to take care of Dad. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll be streaming the other drawing this week as well. I'll be streaming all